years and stuff. Before we delve into it, just based upon overall opinions and facts, kind of like we did with a movie review. What were your guys' thoughts immediately just after watching it for the first time? We kind of go around the room and see what people think.
I'll quote Joni Mitchell in saying they paved paradise and put up a parking lot.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry. It's a nice step forward in terms of technology, but it's about a 50-foot drop backwards in terms of story and creativity and engaging scenery. I'm not going to give away too much beyond that. That's all I'll say.
Okay. Eli?
Yeah, there was some things in there I thought was interesting. I thought that there were some aspects of other attractions, at least that I saw, that they kind of incorporated. So I was like, I guess this is their step in moving forward. So that was pleasant to see. But yes, at the same time, and like you guys said, maybe they were cuts in the video or something, but there was some parts that I was like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. Story-wise, if you compared it to Splash Mountain kind of had layers. This didn't really give me that impression. But as far as the visual and as far as like audio, music and stuff that they were pumping in there, yeah, I can see this being something that while I'm dead, people far beyond would be like, this is the best ride ever. I can totally see people saying that love this movie. So if you're a big fan of the movie, I guess, yeah, you'll be all over it.
I don't know. I was a big fan of the movie, and I'm like, this is what they did to her story?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the movie, yeah.
I mean, I know people that dress like these characters for Halloween and sing the song, so that's what I'm thinking.
Well, sure, but I know people like dressed up as Anna and Elsa, but that doesn't mean that they look at Frozen Ever After and say, that's a compelling story. No, it's the exact same freaking story. There's a party. We're all going. Let's go.
Hey. Yes, I didn't understand, though. I thought we were supposed to be part of something being cooked. And some parts of that I was kind of confused. I'm not getting into any details, but there were some parts I was going through that I was like, where is some of that at as far as the characters and what they would do to interact with us?
Cool. Thanks, Eli. Rachel, what do you think?
Okay, so I always have some positive things to say. So I'm not going to disappoint.
Which is great.
No, we need that.
The balance and the force on this show. I love it.
Yes. So I really love that they didn't just retell the story of the movie. I think that's really good.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would have been disappointed if it was just a retelling of the movie. So I'm glad it wasn't. It's an original story. I like that. I also really thought, the animatronics look awesome. We've seen those before. So they weren't like a surprise, but they could have been those weird projection face ones, and they weren't. They look really good. They're the kind of animatronics we've been wanting, the ones that we've seen in Tokyo and the other Asian parks, and now we have them. And so that's really cool. I'm excited about that. They look great. I hope they work consistently.
Yeah, I would agree with that wholeheartedly. So I'm hoping for that. So I really like the animatronics. I really like that it's an original story. I think that a lot of the scenes were visually beautiful. I liked how they looked. I thought it looked very pretty. Took me to a different place. I felt like I was in a different world. Yeah. We can get into more of the specifics about the story and the ride through after. I have some thoughts when we get to that. But I think overall, I'm going to enjoy the ride, and I'm looking forward to going on it. Yeah, I want to agree with what she said there, because I've seen some people questioning why not just retell the story of Princess and the Frog, and it's like, are you serious? Like, how? You're in a bayou, in a boat, going through, we're already stretching the laws of physics just with the mountain that's elevated and to become a swamp. Like, how are we supposed to go through the quarter into cemeteries, into the swamps? into places. Yeah.
Oh, that's easy.
Without a facility.
It's a shotgun.
Right.
Yeah. It's a shotgun wedding.
Shotgun wedding.
Well, I'm glad they didn't try to do that. And I feel like we have enough of those rides. We don't need another one of those.
I would agree.
It's funny. I'll get to my point in a second, but it's funny. I wouldn't mind a little bit of it, the story retelling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know if you remember the E.T. ride in Universal. Ooh. It didn't retell the story, but it had action sequences that were kind of in the movie itself.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Then they took you to some freaking far off up interplanetary world, ET world. It's like, I didn't expect it to go this way.
That's
so
fair.
I would have been cool with that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like maybe there's some elements. Maybe there's this element where Facilier escapes. He's like, escape my friends on the other side, and then he creates this mountain, and he drops you, and then he gets back into his friend's captor. I don't know.
Right.
That's a good point.
No, I do think it was a major mistake not to bring back Facilier, for sure. I don't give a damn if you're trying to say he got sucked into the other side. There's nothing to say he couldn't have made another deal and escaped the other side, that we couldn't have put him back into the ride.
Yeah, I mean, Madame Leota's right across the bay. You know, she could, or not the bay. What is it? Rivers America. She totally could have brought him back for a second.
Yeah, or to have a new henchman. Like you said, like when you used to have the Terminator ride, you brought me back for a second, and it was like, they're going to show us the T-1000, but they had this other T something that flew at you.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's true.
So introducing a new character, if you will, still not a bad idea.
Marie Laveau.
If you're going to retell it. Yeah.
But unless they completely redid the infrastructure of that ride, you have to feel like you're in a swamp.
Yeah,
the entire way through. There's no way that you feel like you're in the quarter or a plantation or a home or like I said, I think one of the end scenes is in the cemetery. It's like, how do you do that? And you're in a boat in a bayou. Like, come on.
Well, it's hurricane. It's
yeah.
Oh Lord,
that happened.
Don't you traumatize me again?
You remember the cemetery came to us?
Oh man,
oddly enough.
Yes, I remember some of those.
There were coffins that floated down the street.
It was like poltergeist. Don't do
what
it
happened
like
during
this.
Katrina, which is odd.
Oh man.
So the cemeteries visited us.
Yes,
that was some nasty water.
Yeah, it was nasty water. But yeah, I mean, so listeners of the show know that I'm a big proponent of New Orleans, and so I'm probably the last person that's let this go and stuff. I gave it a fair shot. I watched the video, and one of my initial thoughts is, man, there's some interesting color choices there. Number one was my first thought. And number two was like, they're missing a lot of kinetic energy that used to be in Splash Mountain.
Oh yeah,
there's a little animatronics here and there. Yes, I know they're missing a lot of animatronics, but there's a lot of standstill things that you pass through that are missing some little itty bitty gags. Like for instance, in Splash Mountain, there's that little frog singing on an alligator or a hammock, and his foot was tied to a fishing line, floater.
Yes,
and every now and then when it would just twitch. It's just little things like that were kind of missing as I was going through the ride.
Visual gags, yes.
Visual gags and just something to keep the energy moving and on. And then, Eli and I were talking off air just before we started recording, and because I was asking about the color choice, it's like, yeah, the color choice, mostly purples and stuff, where you said were calming and whatnot, right? And so I'm like, well, maybe that's what they're going for. Maybe that's why there's not as much kinetic energy and stuff. And then my next thought was like, well, if one of these animatronics goes down, I mean, is there a B mode for this? Because there's not a lot of animatronics. So
yeah,
it's not like Rise of Resistance where like there's B mode Ren. And he's a projection, and then I started thinking to myself, so why did you shoot this at night? The outside scenes at night. Well, and then I've realized, so they want to connect it to the inside stuff, which has to be at night. I was talking to my daughters, and it's like, that's weird that it's at night, huh? And one of my oldest, she's like, well, I mean, there's fireflies, so it's not like you can see them during the day.
Sure.